I know why you're here. It's time to see Too Sexy get completely dominated by Twisted.
No.
We know that's why you're here. We know that's going to happen. We've got it coming for you. Welcome to another year and welcome to another season of Mighty Car Mods. We're back. Welcome to another episode of Mighty Car Mods. It's been a pretty epic new year, of course, and no doubt by now you would have seen our film Super Turbos and Temples and Marty's epic little Super Turbo. He's now got it back.
I'm just missing it. It's sitting over in Japan, just waiting for the laws to change so it can come and honk its way through the Australian roads.
It's going to be honking its way through Bankstown any day now, which is very, very exciting. But until then, of course, Too Sexy is about to get dominated by Twisted. We both have spoken about this. We know that, but he's still pretending that he has a chance. That's cool. I've got a couple of little things that I need to tweak before the battle, so I'm off to do that. And you, what's your plan, mister?
I've got a lot of things to tweak. So last time it was on the dyno, it just sent clutch everywhere. All my power.
At least you made 130 kilowatts.
At least I made 100.
How much did I make again? Did I make 120? Oh no, it was 220. Sorry.
220.
Sorry, I forgot. It was 220.
So I made 130, almost made 150, and then it was just an explosion of clutch dust everywhere, which was really sad and somewhat embarrassing. But that was my $400 wrecker motor and gearbox and clutch that only cost $400. Anyway, so now I'm going to put a proper clutch in it. I'm going to put a proper diff in it and a proper flywheel. I've got a lot of work ahead of me, so let's do it.
Do you know why you've got a lot of work ahead of you? Because you bought a car that wasn't already perfect like this one. So I'm going to go tweak my already perfect car, which means I don't really need to tweak it, but I do because it's not perfect because it's a pile of shit. But I'm going to get to that and you can get to yours. Good luck.
What he doesn't know is that I'm about to go and do all of that on my hoist.
I'm still here.
Oh.
Too Sexy's last trip to the dyno went a little something like this.
Go.
Is that clutch? Clutch, it must be.
It's clutch, and
It
clutch.
stinks like clutch, and
You know what they say, if it feels like clutch and it smells like clutch,
it's probably your Lancer clutch that's from a record car that's been sitting in a field for 3 years.
let's try and make it more complicated than that though.
How do we do
No,
that?
it's probably not that. It's probably, nah.
Now this is going to be just a little bit different from your usual clutch install rolling around on your back because finally I do have access, although limited access, to a shed with a hoist. And that means this new clutch can go in without having to crawl around on my back and with a transmission jack as well to help. Mechanical Stick just called me and he's like, what are you doing today? And I said, I'm doing a Too Sexy clutch. He said, do you want a hand? And when Mechanical Stick says, do you want a hand? You always say yes because he is a freaking genius. So what I'd have is a clutch, but what I don't have are tools because the shed is even barely set up. There's not much there in the way of pretty much anything. So I'm gonna grab a few tools from here, throw them in a box, grab Too Sexy and hit the shed. To the hoist. Oh, that's heavy. I have to say, Too Sexy does sound incredible, even with a busted clutch. Doesn't even have a proper tune in it yet because we just stopped once we blew the clutch to pieces. But I guess some of the work tuning Fork did is still there and working very, very well. Wow, wow, wow. have a feeling this thing is going to be an absolute monster when it's tuned properly. It's going to be a really good thing.
It's the dream of most backyard mechanics to have a backyard hoist, but a hoist isn't much good if you're getting rained on, so you need to wrap it in a tin shed. I got a bend pack asymmetrical 2-post hoist installed onto the concrete slab with just enough room around it to spanner on cars. The shed has been a bit of a work in progress and I haven't been able to use it for anything until today. Only it's a complete mess.
Why are there socks?
I've also got some hand-me-down tools and a toolbox that's filled mostly with garden and house tools, not the kind of stuff that's going to be too useful working on an Evo.
This shed is completely full to the brim with crap. So step one of this clutch change is to fix it. As I've slowly refined all the tools that we use in the shed, usually for all the different kind of cars we're doing, whether it's a really basic stereo thing or some servicing, up to stuff like the Cresta or the HQ, which are all built in the shed. All the sort of secondhand tools, older stuff, broken stuff that's not up to task, has ended up in this toolbox, which has been sitting underneath a house in storage for years, and I finally get a chance to pull it out. There's also a bunch of the older Obi stuff, which is still going strong. We've sort of slowly replaced that as well. This is the original Whizzer. Plus they sent a few new bits and pieces as well, which is pretty cool. So I'm gonna get all that installed onto the wall and out of the way, so it's all hanging up and easy to grab. This thing is pretty cool. This came from the same guys that the Hoist came from. And basically it's like a servicing parts pulling apart mess thing. Basically the idea is you can put parts on the top, whether that's engines or transmissions, and then it drains into this tub, which makes it nice and clean. All the oil drains through there and you can work on your stuff. So once the rest of the area is tidied and we have some room to move, it'll be about time to get started. Mechanical Stig should be here any minute. Setting up a new workspace can be really, really fun. And it was really fun setting up our initial shed, especially after all the dramas we had with weather issues and not being able to film and noise restrictions and all that kind of stuff on the driveway back in the day. Our new little shed, as little as it is, has been such a cool spot to film and is still where we are going to film pretty much all the time. If there's something I can get on and off a hoist quickly without upsetting any sort of noise restrictions or anything, then it might happen here. So you may see a bit of both. There's a few things that you sort of I think are essential when you have a new workspace, and that is being able to get to stuff easily. This thing's really cool. I'm looking forward to use that. I've got a workbench here that I will probably change once I sort of get it all sorted, and then a bunch of Roby, both secondhand stuff and new stuff. It is a good idea, I think, to put that stuff on the wall and where you can get it, or in a toolbox like it is at the shed. But one thing I think is really important is having your charger and your batteries and the things you're grabbing every single time you grab a tool up high. So I'm going to throw a few of those things on the wall, a few of those things in the toolbox, and then I think we'll be just about ready to get started.
Battery-powered workshop tools have earned their place in garages in recent years. Up to then, it was all about air power. Now that a lithium battery can store a decent amount of charge, the variety of tools available is enormous. The heart of one of these systems is a charging setup that means you don't end up with flats while you're mid-clutch change. I've also brought along a jack, plus some of the favourites from my own toolbox.
It is quite possible with the tools that are already here that we might actually have everything we need to do this clutch. Just in case, I did bring a bunch from the shed, which is sort of the usual suspects: breaker bars, stuff to move big things, big sockets for drive shafts, pliers. The pliers I have here are kind of a bit crappy, and a little bit of the sort of brake cleaner WD-40 stuff, which will now live here. And with all those tools, we should be okay, because the most exciting tool of all is, of course, the hoist, which at the end of the day is just a tool. You can do this without one, but doing a job with it is pretty awesome. One other awesome item did arrive for Too Sexy, and this arrived quite a while ago, way back, I think before we even did the engine swap, but we had some idea of what engine and gearbox was going to go into it, and that is a limited slip diff. Now, even on the very short drive, you could feel the wheel spin with the tune that's in it, which is like wastegate pressure or close to it. So this thing is going to be in serious need of some grip. With the old engine and old power delivery, it sort of didn't slip because it didn't really have that much torque down low. Now it does, and it's just trying to fry tires all the time. So this, if it fits, it should fit, but we don't know for sure. If this fits, it should pretty much fix a lot of our traction issues.
On the most basic level, limited slip diffs prevent one tyre fires. There's lots of different varieties out there, but this particular one is a wave track, which uses some tricky internal gears to improve grip. It's a drop-in replacement for the factory open differential. As well as that, I've bought myself a heavy-duty clutch kit, which should handle the power much more confidently than the stock unit. There's also a new light and flywheel to complete the package. Due to having all new parts, I won't need to spend any time getting flywheels machined or recycling old stuff.
Benny!
Hey mate.
What's going on, bro?
Just checking out the sick new hoist and shed.
Hoist goes good, hey.
I don't know yet. Let's check it out.
Well,
let's make it work.
I'm
It'll
pretty
probably
sure
go heaps better with a car on it.
that's true. I'm pretty sure it does work. It's all wired in and plumbed in, and the place is clean. I mean,
It
clean,
is a good looking shed. I like
cleanish.
it.
This stuff is still all here, partly because some of this is actually your stuff for your shed,
That's pretty exciting.
so I was leaving it for you.
Thank you.
Slash, gonna make you clean it up. And some other bits I was hoping to get your help putting together before we start, because really the whole purpose of this is to obviously get a clutch and associated bits into Too Sexy, but
What's this? Oh, it's
oil drain, dude. We're gonna drain our
that's
gearbox
sick.
into that.
Oh, you know what's bad about these though?
Oh, what?
You put air onto them to drain them out, and then it explodes everywhere.
Have you done it?
I haven't done. I've seen apprentices do it.
Everyone was
Oh,
an
this one's
apprentice once.
sick. It's not. It has a pump. Oh, that's heaps more apprentice friendly.
Yeah. I'm pretty
That's
sure
sick.
Ranger is the same homies, or the same homies that do Ben Pack. And Ben
cool.
Pack and Ranger are somehow the same. So this rocked up with the hoist.
Oh, awesome.
Which is pretty cool, because it's one of the coolest things of having a hoist is the fact you can just drain stuff out easy.
Yeah, no more drain pans.
And I think the one I'm also very excited about is that, which I'm pretty sure is a transmission jack. Or that is. One of those is a transmission jack.
Sweet. I'd
Which
say
is
probably that box.
What you need for what we're about to do, right?
That'll be very handy.
So I reckon we just crack into it and sort of open this stuff up and get it all happening, and then stick the car on.
The Martin Garage Christmas special.
It totally is, man. And then we'll do about 10 minutes work on the car and then call it and go and get some mad
You know what, Martin?
What?
I'm a massive fan.
Oh, there is a hose. Oh, and there's a pump. Now I see what you're saying. Maybe we should have actually read the instructions like we're doing now. Drain some gearbox oil, that'd be mad. Only thing left to do is to get this mad Lancer nugget onto the hoist and use the hoist for the very first time. First hoisting, the locks are off. That's the down button. Hang on, where's the up button? Yes! It's happening.
So far, so good.
Doing hoist things, man. Yeah, dude.
Job done. I like it.
And in case you can't tell from my face, I am pretty stoked to finally have access to a hoist.
What do you think, man? You haven't seen the underside of
I haven't
this.
seen this car since it came back, really.
It's cool,
like
eh? It's neat.
I like it.
It fits.
Of course it's neat. You and Alan did it.
Well, it
It's not Barry Backyard Internet 5000 build that is SEMA ready. This actually functions and moves under its own power.
it's fast.
No, it's not.
Well,
So
Well,
front-wheel drive Lancer, dude. I mean, all-wheel drive Lancer, dude.
it's gonna be
My
fast.
mistake.
So
So,
that's the bit that
that
needs to come
exhaust is
out.
hot. Don't put your head on that, just so you know.
That bit needs to come out.
Yeah, which means we'll have to drop this cross member, which is less than ideal because we don't have an engine support bar.
Yes, we do.
Do we?
We can make one.
Oh, cool.
Let's just make one.
Okay.
Why don't we use that as the engine support bar?
Because it's currently the gearbox support
Oh,
bar.
yeah, okay. There's a jack handle over there.
This isn't getting better.
You'll be fine, man.
It'll be sweet.
You worry too much.
You know what we could actually do? Use a transmission jack to hold the engine, then just the two of us lift the box off.
I've got an exhaust, also got an exhaust stand.
Ah, yes. That's, the twist. Yeah, no, it's sweet.
Because you got, yeah,
Back to the drawing
you have
board.
to support it. Do you think we need to take exhausts and stuff
Cool
off?
stories by Benjamin. No, doesn't look like it.
So just a bit of stuff off the top, the linkages, the drive shafts, pop them out. What's your
That'll
technique
stay.
for drive shaft popping? Is it go take that bit out and then...
Being that I've done a total of 0 Lancers, we might just kind of make it up as we go.
Yeah, I've done one Lancer,
But
but it was a long time ago. I've actually forgotten most of
I'd
it.
say we'll just undo the nut at that end and then just pop the bottom ball joint and then
Good
add in
donk.
one go.
It'll just come out, hey.
Hopefully. That's the theory. We may or may not be proven wrong, but I'm happy to give it a crack.
Do you know how excited I am that this is like up and visible and like
Poised.
just being able to do this, like get your hand in there without... It's just
Being on
amazing.
the back. The
It's
hoist
so
is a
good.
game changer, Martin.
It is a game changer. I'm just believing you more and more. Look at that turbo.
This all drive conversion's really good.
Yeah, you can almost not tell it's there. Hey,
It's like factory. Actually, have you seen? I saw something on the internet the other day, believe
Yep.
it or not.
because of an all-drive Honda, they seem to be getting popular.
Hondas suck. No, it was an all-drive conversion that was a hybrid all-drive conversion. So you get
Yep.
your front-wheel drive Evo,
Yep.
and then you have like a hub motor
Yep.
for the back.
Basically like a Tesla rear end.
Kind of, but in the hubs rather than a
Yeah.
mid-mount with a diff and all
Hub
that
motors are
stuff.
going to be a thing, man. It took them a long time to get there, but they're starting to get
I
there.
guess it's like the old technology versus thing. Once
Yeah.
an OE like Telstra.
Telstra,
Tesla
definitely not
even.
Telstra.
No. If it was Telstra, you'd still be waiting for a connection 9 years later, and your all-wheel drive system would be really inefficient. So yeah, once you get like OE level support for a concept, it brings the price down big time.
What I'm also excited about is that there's nothing leaking. There's nothing leaking
Oh, did you not see this leak here?
out of anything. What's that leak? You just lick
Engine
that?
oil.
You just lick that?
Yeah.
That's gross, man.
Tastes like engine
No, but I mean, like, there's no big dirty oil drain leaks and sump leaks and
No, it's-
rear main seal leaks and just crap.
I like it, Martin. I like it a lot.
So I think
What are you going to do when you crush Twisted?
crush twisted.
Yeah. Metaphorically and physically.
What am I going to do?
Yeah.
Be happy?
Dance. Are you going to do your transmission
No.
leg dance?
Twisted. Twisted's a good car, dude.
Which part?
No,
The
it is.
engine?
Yeah, the engine's good.
I appreciate the time and effort in the build, but
Yep. If someone said build that car, I would be like, oh, there goes my year.
oh man, there's like 80 grand in that car.
Easy,
Which is-
easy. Which is about 10 times more
I
than
can
there is in this.
appreciate it, but I don't understand it, I guess, is probably the
Yeah.
easiest way of putting it.
Yeah, it's a thing.
I guess I've kind of had my show car era too.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
just
thing.
not quite to that level.
I was there. I saw it.
I know. I
dude,
still own that car.
let's
Never
just
gonna sell it.
pump some tunes, and let's just take people with us and get this thing
Are
out.
we going to have a montage?
There might be a montage.
Don't forget to put the boost drag in, Martin.
Especially undies. Undies are the best boost rag.
Yeah.
Always use undies, especially
They're
if
used to
been-
a bit of pressure. Positive displacement.
positive pressure in the pant region. I just realised, Benny,
What?
that we have a hoist.
Are you still working on the
It's not
ground?
on the ground,
Sucker!
but it's alright.
But we're being efficient.
Because the bit that I hate the most is when this bit is not so bad, just like undoing a bolt. It's when we've got to pull the gearbox out and you've got it on your
And
chest
you wrestle it, yeah.
and you're wrestling it out. You've got like
Everyone's cop one on the chest.
10. there's one little snag we've run into, which is that's not supposed to be leaking oil, and it is leaking oil onto the floor. So yeah, don't really know what the go with that is. Hopefully it's hasn't just totally munched away the seal in that gearbox, because if it has, that's going to slow us down just a little bit.
Shaft's brand new still.
It is brand new.
It's not brand new. Did you put it in today? It's not brand new then, is it?
Thank you for your help, Benny.
No worries.
Much appreciate you dropping by
Pleasure as
the
always.
Savo to help me
Good bit of fun.
get this thing removed. So the plan is, first thing tomorrow morning, I'm going to split this gearbox, which I've never done before, so it'll be a journey of exploration and who knows what. There's probably like 200 and something thousand Ks on this box, and then maybe stuff in there that needs to be replaced, seals and bearings and stuff you were saying, right?
Yeah. Might need some diff bearings.
Yep. The bearing that goes on the outside of that thing?
Yeah, so on our new diff, sometimes you can just pull the ones off the old diff, but it's probably not a bad idea just to chuck some new ones on it either.
Yep.
So just press them on. You have to press them on anyway. It's not like a hand fit thing, so
Yeah, cool.
may as well just whack some new ones on it and put it back together.
Sure. So diff will go in, split the case, new diff will go in, and then the new clutch will just get whacked straight on there and straight on there with its new flywheel. So don't have to get anything machined or sent away. So as long as the gearbox can go back together, it will be finished the same day, which is pretty exciting. So I think it's time to go and get some ginger beers. Let's do it. Thanks, Benny.
No worries, man.
Legend.
Anytime.
Legend.
Pleasure as always.
Proper legit mechanical skills.
Ginger beers, can't wait.